Hello everyone, welcome to our podcast, She Gets Sit Done with Tony and Sonna. Today we are talking about sleep and why it is important.
Yes, and I think to hit it off straight away, a tired dog is a good dog is a shitty statement.
Yes,
Why?
because people rely on their dogs being exhausted and then they think that is actually a tired dog. You're just making an athlete out of your dog. You're actually not teaching them to be able to relax or anything. Your dog should be able to relax even when they haven't done much in a day.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have your really high energy breeds that need to have fulfillment, and if you get those dogs, you need to meet those needs. But I also don't think you need to go OTT over the top. Otherwise, what you're doing is just making your dog fitter and fitter and fitter.
Yeah,
and then you're
should
having to do
definitely
more.
not have to walk your dog 2 hours a day to tire him out.
No.
If that's what you're doing, and you're like, and then he still wants to do this, then you have other issues. It's not energy. It's just your dog not knowing, how do I calm down? How do I do nothing? So that's what you've got to work on. Or you might have to do a bit of enrichment to mentally tire out your dog instead of just exercise.
That was literally what I was going to say. Just because you're walking 2 hours a day doesn't mean you're actually fulfilling their needs.
Yeah.
People could do a 2-hour street walk. It doesn't mean that the dogs are actually getting anything out of it. Like they do, but it's not like they're running off and they're going off and sniffing or, playing tug or chasing or anything like that. So I think you need to look at the dog that you have and what they enjoy. And instead of doing a 2-hour walk, you could possibly do a 45-minute walk and then maybe 15 minutes of tug or something. And you've also split your day down, but you've also given your dog everything that they need.
That's it. And I feel like a tired dog is a good dog. Well, actually, half of the time, people with overtired dogs have monsters of dogs.
Yeah.
Because, like when a toddler gets a temper tantrum when they're tired, but they don't want to go to sleep, but they're horrid to be around. Well, that's dogs, especially for puppies, I think. Like, so many puppies get really bitey. They get the zoomies a lot. They get cranky. And people are like, oh, I don't understand. I've walked him. I've done a game. I've played with the ball. I've done this. I'm trying to swap out for toys and so he doesn't bite me. But what you haven't tried is let your puppy sleep.
Yeah.
And most of the time, you just put the puppy in a crate or a puppy pen and you leave them alone. You let them sleep. And when they wake up, oh my God, they're actually nice to be around.
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy as well with toddlers. Obviously, they're completely different, but in some circumstances, if you think you've gone to the park with your toddler, they usually go down for a nap. They might be getting, a little bit like frustrated and everything. You're not going to then say, oh, I need to go out and do more things because they're frustrated. You'd be like, okay, they're tired.
Exactly.
Because they're tired, they're not processing as much and they're cranky, they need to relax and they need to sleep. Same with dogs. Dogs need to actually have a decent amount of sleep during the day.
Absolutely.
Especially puppies. If they're mouthing a lot, it's usually because they're getting frustrated over something and that's because they're overtired.
Yeah. Yeah, and because they get the biting, like, I don't think a lot of people know, but chewing to a dog is calming.
Yeah.
It's like soothing and like a pacifier. So I know like that type of biting, when they grab your shoelaces or your shirt or whatever, isn't very pacifying. But even like little dogs that start nibbling you, like they just want to sleep. And they don't know what else to do, so I'll just start biting you.
Yeah. So I think a part of it is actually teaching your dog how to sleep. So rather than trying to overexhaust your dog, you actually need to teach them how to relax. So a lot of the time what we recommend is you crate your dog, which again, we've had whole topics of this before, but if your dog is allowed to wander all the time, their brain is going all the time.
That's it.
They need to be put somewhere where they can't be moving around everywhere and they just need to relax and settle. And I can tell you right now, if your dog is overexhausted and they learn how to relax, they're so much happier. You mentioned once you had a client, the dog could never sleep. And so it was constantly always stressed because it had a high cortisol level. If you're not able to relax and get into a REM sleep, and actually your brain is not switching off and relaxing. So if you're not sleeping enough, I know for a fact for me, I get more uptight and everything because I'm tired all the time.
I'm horrible when I don't get enough sleep. This is one of the reasons I don't want kids. I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I would be the worst version of myself.
Yeah.
I'm an 8 hours a night person.
Yeah. Yep. So if you can imagine like you're being restricted so much that you couldn't do that, if you were constantly living like, so you needed 8 hours, if you were living on a 4-hour sleep, it would be awful. So it's really important, rather than thinking a tired dog is a happy dog, how do I teach my dog that they can relax?
Actually, it's so funny. Like, I'm having like an epiphany right here. Because you were saying that, like, imagine you're an 8-hour person and you're doing on a 4-hour sleep schedule. I was thinking to myself when you said that, fuck, I would get so cranky.
Yeah.
Like, I would snap at anyone.
Yeah.
Because I do. Like, I can't help it. I'm like the worst person when I'm tired. And that just clicked for me for some reason. Like, oh shit, dogs are awful when they don't sleep. Just thinking about how I feel. I'm like, I just, I knew it. But right now I'm connecting it.
It's connected it. I just came up with a brand new quote to live by.
I was just like, holy shit. I just get so aggressive when I don't have enough sleep. Yeah. No wonder dogs are awful when they don't sleep properly.
Well, yeah, they'll be like grumpy with dogs. They do other things like, I don't know, reactivity, like barking at windows, everything, because they're not processing things properly. Yeah.
It's like when when you have a dog that barks at all the birds all the time.
Yeah.
Because it could almost be like when you're trying to have a sleep and kids are just screaming outside, and every time you just doze off, they wake you up again.
Yeah.
But you can't settle. And how do you fix that? You close the curtains, you close the window, you go into a room that's nice and quiet, you maybe put some meditation music on, so you're actually able to fall asleep. Yeah. And that's the same that we have to do with dogs. Like, your dog sleeping on the couch in front of the window is clearly not able to shut off enough.
Yeah.
Like, or you get up to open the fridge and the dog's like, oh, food. So this is why we recommend crates or puppy pen or a different room. Your dog needs to physically not be able to get up for a bit and just sleep.
Yeah. And the other thing is if your dog is good at resting, just leave them alone. They're not sad or anything. They're sleeping. So leave them alone. So not be like, oh, my dog's sad. He's going to be energetic later. I'll get him up and now we'll go and play. No, you're just creating I need to be up and doing thing like with your dog all the time. So then they're not going to sleep as much all the time, because anytime they go to sleep, oh, we go up and do something. Oh, I want to do that again. I'm not going to sleep this time. So mum needs to go and take me out again and do it. And I'm going to annoy mum and I'm going to be...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like that's your whole sleep thing. Like, there's so many people that feel like, you have to enrich your dog lots, or you have to walk your dog lots, or you have to, doggy daycare or whatever. Your dog just needs to sleep. And if they sleep enough, you'll see that they start chilling out more and less attention seeking as well.
It's very important that you're meeting their needs. So if they are a dog that might find it easier to rest, like by putting them in a crate, but you're finding that they're not and they're getting more restless, you might be, okay, maybe I didn't do enough with them that day.
That's it.
And
it is, again, not one size fits all. Obviously, a pug needs a lot less exercise than a border collie.
Yeah.
So yes, you'll have to walk your border collie probably further than the pug. Like, use your common sense.
But a border collie is a dog that needs to learn to chill, because they will become obsessive. The pug is probably a breed, like, they're pretty, like, high, they can be, like, high energy and stuff, but in general, they probably find easier to chill than a border collie. A border collie wants to chase balls all the time. So you might have a dog that constantly brings a ball by your foot all the time, and if you're constantly throwing it all day, they're not going to go and chill. They just want to keep doing that all the time.
So you have to put limitations on your dog.
Yeah.
Just like with kids, again. Yeah. If your kid would come to you every day, shall we go to the playground now? Oh, but we've just been. Yeah, but I want to go again. Well, are you going to say yes?
No, I would say no.
Say, no, I need to cook you dinner. And after that, it's bedtime or whatever. You know, you don't just, but now I want to go to the movies. And now I want to go this. And let's go play ball outside now. It's like, no, just sit down and watch your iPad for a minute.
Yeah. I think the same relation like that, you wouldn't be constantly getting your child to do it. And they couldn't do it. They couldn't do things all day. They would then get exhausted and then get cranky again because they're functioning on not enough rest for what their body needs.
That's it. And if you don't relate to kids, just look at yourself. Look at the adults these days. I mean, I don't know what your timeline is like, but most 30-somethings these days want to do nothing.
Yeah.
They just want to go home and watch some TV and have a glass of wine or just chill with their dog. They don't want to go and meet 12 different people after work. Like, work was enough.
Yeah. I know for me, for a fact, once I've got home from work and everything, I don't want to do anything.
Neither.
I don't want to do anything. I need to switch off. And even if I'm just, I don't know, put TV on, that's relaxing enough. I'm still like watching it, but my body's doing like nothing. I'm just relaxing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the worst thing for me is if someone tries to put a last minute plan in the middle of the week. Yeah. Like, sorry, you'll get a no from me 9 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
If you message me, like, I mean, it's now still fairly early, but say it's 4 o'clock and you message me like, hey, you want to go out for dinner at 7? The answer will be no. I don't want to. Because it's 4 o'clock, I needed at least a whole day to prepare for this mentally. And I've already worked. I just got home and put my pajamas on, so no.
I'm not taking my pajamas off yet.
So, chilling is important, man. Even for dogs.
Yeah. And then you have the busy people that can't switch off and they're always doing stuff and they probably need to learn to relax a little bit. Relax a little bit.
We call those workaholics.
Yeah. So again, same kind of thing. You have pugs who like to chill, and you like to chill, and you don't want to be busy all the time. And then you have the border collies of the world who literally cannot relax, and they're constantly living on caffeine all the time because.
I feel like I'm definitely a border collie when I'm working, but the moment work is done, I am like a pug.
Yeah.
Like a fat pug that doesn't want to move and just lie in the sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like that was a nice way to finish that one.
Definitely.
Yeah, be mindful of who your dog is. They need a lot of rest and sleep, and it makes them more enjoyable to be around.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.